Yesterday, I was able to provide you with the price and additional specifications for the Canon EOS R1. I was also able to provide you with a price for the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. But today, we're starting off early with two leaked images. One of the front of the camera and the other one from the back. Let's start off with the back image because it provides us with a whole lot of information. We have a multifunction button on the top left, right under the menu button. But what I think is kind of the big news here is for the first time in a 1 series camera, we have a fully articulating LCD. And based on the size of this camera, it looks to be just a little bit bigger than the R3. What do you think? Do you think it's bigger? I mean, the EVF is definitely bigger. But now turning our attention to the bottom, right under the LCD, we can see the rate button, delete, magnify, and play button, as well as a LAN indicator and what looks to be like some sort of sensor. On the bottom right, we have the on, off, and lock button, as well as the info, AF on, and joystick button, at least one of them. And on the far right, just before the shutter button on the right side, we have a small scroll wheel, the AE lock, and the AF point selection buttons. The quick control dial has the same look and feel as the one found in the Canon EOS R5 and the R3, with the set and quick menu button. A second autofocus button and joystick button is on the top right, with a video record button and what appears to be a dial on the top right, although it's really hard to make what that could be. And while the front branding has been masked out, we can definitely tell that it's the Canon EOS R1 from the texture. And that lens, at first I thought it might be the RF 35mm f1.4, but it's an FD lens. That's right, an old antiquated FD lens, at least that's what I'm reading. That's an interesting lens there. Kind of makes me wonder if something's been photoshopped here. Let's bring up that image one more time. Notice how the camera's in sharp focus. So's the forehead and the hands, but the lens, well, it's definitely got some blur going on there. It looks like somebody's done a bit of a Photoshop job here. Yeah, there's definitely, and the same thing with the back. If you look at the back, again, let's bring up that back image. We can see once again that this is a high resolution image. There's plenty of detail. Nothing has been left to interpretation. So what do you think? There's definitely been some sort of Photoshop going on, unless it had a really, really slow shutter speed and the person is actively changing something on that lens. But come on. An FD lens on the RF mount? Unless Canon's got something going on here with some sort of new adapter, I don't know, something's a little fishy there, and it is a little bit early in the morning here as I'm recording this, so maybe I've missed something blindingly obvious. So let me know in the comment section down below what I've missed, or maybe some other things you picked up that I just haven't talked about. All right, so since yesterday it was a really busy day, we started off the day really early with some more leaked information on the Canon EOS R1. We ended up with pricing, availability, and shipping dates, and all that sort of wonderful stuff. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap for those that didn't catch all of yesterday's news. So the biggest news so far, actually before I get into that, one thing to let you know that for a lot of what I'm going to talk about here, I had 3 separate sources telling me information. Some bits of information, it's down to 2 sources, and I'll let you know when it's down to 2 or 1 source, but pretty much everything I'm going to talk about here in a recap is coming from multiple sources, and that's from my end, let alone what you might have heard at Canon Rumors or other sites. So the sensor, a lot of people aren't too happy about this, and a lot of people are very happy about this. One thing when we go to a lower resolution sensor, such as the 24 megapixel full frame stacked sensor in the Canon EOS R1, is you're allowed faster readout speeds. So along with quad pixel autofocus and AI enhanced autofocus that improves subject detection and tracking, the rolling shutter speed, or I should say the rolling shutter, let me just give you the number. It's early in the morning here, so I'm having trouble getting my words out. 2 milliseconds for the rolling shutter. That's pretty fast. Now, if we went to 30 megapixels or even higher, you're going to have what's going to take longer. So that's a really big deal. We still don't have any video specifications on the camera, but everything, this is what I like about these leaks so far. They're focused on its target market. I really like video, and that's me, and that's probably why I'll get the R5 Mark II, but I understand this camera, and it's not designed to be the master of everything, a jack of all trades. It's not designed to be a Nikon Z9 killer. everything I'm seeing right now, and I'll get into the signal to noise ratio in just a moment, is telling us that Canon's got this camera firmly focused on people that don't mind shooting at 24 megapixels. Whether it's right or wrong, this is purely subjective. When it comes to the R1, we can tell from everything we've heard so far that this is all about fast action, sports shooting, wildlife, where you can get by on 24 megapixels, because the R1 is going to have a signal to noise ratio significantly better than that, than the R3. And what was my one? I forgot the source. What was his name? Joshua put out a podcast yesterday saying that it's incredible compared to the R3. So that's really, really good news. Hold on, I think I'm forgetting a few other things here. What else have I not mentioned? So signal to noise ratio, yeah. Oh, so another thing too, very clean ISO. Sorry, very clean at high ISO. So that's really good too. So we're seeing faster rolling shutter, so we can get the information really quickly, so we don't have that rolling shutter. But we're also having very clean images when shooting at a high ISO. So really good too. So even if you're not shooting with like a 100 to 300 f2.8, you're still going to get really great results with a lot of Canon lenses. So when are we going to get the announcement? Well, this is kind of just shaked up in the last couple of days. I've heard from multiple known sources. I think I'm up to 3 at this point, stating that we're looking at a July announcement, and it's supposed to be announced along the same time. No, two sources, I'm sorry. That's supposed to be announced on the same day at the same time as the EOS R5 Mark II. So the EOS R5 Mark II is supposed to be announced in July as well. So that's really interesting. But as far as the shipping date, we're looking at November. And only one source told me that. And I can't tell you who that is. I wish I could. That's not how this works. So we're looking, and of course, Canon Rumors has said sometime around Q4, Q3. So we kind of have 2 sources telling us now that it's not going to ship till later. However, one person called me and said, I thought you said it was going to be this summer. Well, yes, pre-production units will be in the hands of select pros, maybe even production units. We don't know, but it's going to be out there and available. And as you can see from these images right here, well, the camera's already out there. People are taking shots of it. Although I sense that these images have come from people who are purposefully leaking it. I don't know who that is. One thing I do want to say, though, a special thanks to the gentleman who brought this to my attention. I don't want to mention your name because I don't know who you're connected to or whatnot, but thank you very much, sir. It's very much appreciated. Okay, so we've got all the specifications that I've been able to gather and validate. I know there's more on Canon Rumors and other sites, but I'm just trying to go with what I have a very good understanding of, where people are swearing that they know for sure, or it's 100%, people I can trust, that have provided me with good information in the past. So the price of the Canon EOS R1, and there's an asterisk here for a very good reason, or there will be when I mention the price, $64.99. And the reason why there's an asterisk there is because it's so early until we actually get the camera announced that what we call, this price is what we call an internal Canon only price at this point. So all the bean counters, all the accountants have taken a look at everything and said, okay, based on where we are today, for this year, the price of the R1 will be $64.99. However, the Japanese yen has been sinking against the US dollar for quite some time, especially since 2020, down some 30 to 50%. So if the Japanese yen starts to fluctuate even further, whether it's appreciating against the dollar or decreasing against the dollar, we could see that price revised a little bit further. So what I said yesterday is, yeah, $64.99, but plus or minus 3 to 5%. And that'll give us a good idea of where this camera is going to be coming in at. But I watched the comments yesterday, and I really enjoyed them because I saw a lot of differences of opinions. I got to really understand how you shoot with this camera, because I don't have a 1 series camera. And a lot of people definitely said, you know what, 24 megapixels, I would say even the bulk said that 24 megapixels is more than enough for what I shoot. That faster readout speed, that low noise, that is more important to me than more pixels. But Kevin and others said, well, you know what, for what I shoot, I really do need more detail. I need that ability to crop in post. And I'm not here to say one is right or over the other. All I'm saying is that Canon is designing this camera not as the master of everything, a jack of all trades, like the Nikon Z9 is. Now, Canon is clearly designing this camera for sports and fast action shooters, people covering the Olympics, football, basketball, but also a particular set of nature and wildlife photographers as well, as Joshua has highlighted with what he shoots. Look at these incredible images. They're just unbelievable. And he strongly believes that you don't need more than 24 megapixels. And he is not just stating that as his opinion, he's living it. And so I learn a lot from you. I don't have the R1, the 100 to 500. I don't have the 1DX Mark III or the R3 in the 100 to 500. Sorry, the 100 to 300. The 400, the 600, the 800 millimeter, or the 1200 millimeter, because I just can't afford these. So if you're shooting with any of these lenses and cameras, please do chime in. Let us know what you shoot with, whether you are in that camp of 24 megapixels, but also please tell us why you like shooting that, or why you don't mind that, why the Nikon Z9 or the Canon EOS R5 with 45 megapixels is not for you. And on the other side, don't just say something negative, a generalized statement about what others are saying. Give us your opinion, because what you're doing is you're helping us understand why you do what you do and why others do what they do. And that's really, really helpful for us learning here. The reason I call this the Ordinary Filmmaker is because, well, I'm just ordinary. And primarily I'm a filmmaker. I shoot films, I shoot videos, and that's kind of my deal. It's kind of like the everyday dad. I'm not a Steven Spielberg. The whole point of putting ordinary in front of the channel name was to kind of disarm people and to think that I'm this professional, incredible filmmaker. Your thoughts, your comments not only help me, but they help other viewers too. We don't have a lot of toxic comments, so people are always reading and providing comments, and it's really helpful to the community at whole. Now, one thing I do have in the description down below is, and this is kind of going back to deals of the week, just if you haven't watched any videos in the last little while, because I keep talking about this every day, the amount of deals and steep discounts. The R5 Mark II, $1,000 off its release price. The Z8, $500 off. Every single Canon camera pretty much is on sale. Some of them, like the R6 Mark II, $500 off. Nikon, the Z6 Mark II, Z7 Mark II, all incredibly discounted to like $19.99 or $19.96 and $14.97. Sony has a bunch of sales on as well, but it's not just there. I mean, Fujifilm, $1,600 off the Fujifilm X100S Mark I. There's so many great deals out there that I know you're probably excited about the R1 or the R5 Mark II, or you're just chiming in, but take a look at the deals out there, because there's some really incredible ones. And if you do purchase any of if you do use my affiliate links down below for B&H, Adorama, and Amazon.com, I need to let you know for transparency, is I could get anywhere from 3 to 12% back, which goes to supporting this channel. You don't have to pay any extra. You don't have to punch in any codes or go through any BS. These links take you directly to Adorama, B&H, or Amazon.com. You can go ahead and put it in your cart and check out pretty easily by logging in or doing a guest account checkout. But the real benefit you get is to save a lot of money. And while you're buying something through these links, not only do you save money, but you help support this channel through that commission I get from those retailers. And it's very much appreciated. Small or large sale, it makes a difference. It's why I'm here today with 52,000 subscribers. And all these lenses on the back here, they're not for show. They're real, and I shoot with them. And because I'm not borrowing them for 3 or 4 days at a time or 1 to 2 weeks at a time, I'm able to tell you what it's like to shoot with a 200 to 800, the 100 to 500, the 50 millimeter f1.2. Doesn't matter. Does $2,000 to $3,000 glass make a difference? I can talk to that. And can you get really good affordable glass for under $1,000? I can talk to that as well. Anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, Saturday was an incredible day. So much information coming out. I shot and edited 4 videos. Yeah, just unbelievable day. I've got a patent application video that was due to come out today, but that's probably going to get pushed. I don't really know at this point. But thank you. Thank you for using my affiliate links. Thank you for subscribing, commenting. It's very much appreciated. But things are moving fast and furious, so if you want to see up to date on all the latest and greatest, then one thing to be sure about, well, go ahead and subscribe and choose all notifications, and that way, as soon as I publish a video, you'll get notified. You can also follow me on X, so quite often I'd be tweeting out a lot more than I would with putting out videos, because YouTube kind of limits me to 3 videos a day. Whereas tweeting, I don't have that same limitation, so I'm always providing more information, more sales, and even more leaked images. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great weekend, at least what's left of it. And put your seatbelt on. Get ready for some turbulence, because I think it's going to be a very interesting week. Remember what we talked about the Canon EOS R5, that we would definitely have some sort of announcement before the end of the month? I've had sources saying that. Canon Rumors has had sources saying that. It's all over the interweb. We will know this coming week, this week, because we're now in Sunday, if we're going to get any sort of Canon EOS R5 Mark II announcement. And on that note, thanks for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon.